flag racing time. Let's get this show on the road.
Oh, the 6 dance triumph. Oh my God, it's Charlie Davenport. It's gonna be Alex Fletcher. It's going to be Mike Fink Jr., number 38, winning at Daytona.
Here comes the 19. Trey Wright wins the Indianapolis 200. And he's gonna win his second race here under the lights at Kansas.
A part-time driver's gonna steal a heel at Charlotte. Local millions will win the Coca-Cola 600.
We are the NIRA.
We are the NIRA.
We are the NIRA.
We are the NIRA.
And good evening, race fans, and welcome to the Alaska Super Speedway. It is the 4th year in a row that we're doing this race. It is the Christmas 300 presented by NIRA, and this is the third year in a row, actually, that we are here at this racetrack. This track has actually proven to be a very exciting racetrack. I can definitely tell you that because we've been coming here since 2018. And the first race here was a huge wreck-fest race. Stremme went on to take the win in the first race here. The second race was won by fuel mileage. Cody Smart ended up taking his number 2 car to victory lane. But 2020, it's a little bit different because we are using the Cup 90 mod with Xfinity cars with paint schemes ranging back from 2013 all the way up to this year. And also another thing to add on is that the defending winner of the race, Cody Smart, is not here. So we are guaranteed to have a new winner of the Christmas 300. If you are not aware, the 2017 version was won. The 2017 race was won by Jeremy Jones. That was the first ever running of the Christmas 300, but that was ran at Daytona on the ice. But this year it's a little bit different, so things are going to be very, very interesting. These cars may go 4 wide. They may go 5 wide. We'll just have to wait and see what happens with 40 laps of action here at the Alaska Super Speedway. On the front row, as you can see there, is the number 32. That is Madison's Hall, the same number that she raced in the Pumpkin 250 with earlier this year back in October. And Sun Mayo Keys in the number 48 lines up on the outside. And the DC Solar number 48 Monte Carlo. This is going to be a very interesting race. I can definitely tell you that, as I already said. 40 laps. This is going to be very chaotic. We will see some drivers kind of peel off the racetrack just a little bit when it comes to crashes. We might see some drivers slide off the track. They might launch right up into the air, right off the banking, and just go tumbling through the trees into the woods. And it's most likely going to ruin their days. But who will be the unfortunate souls that will get the bad end of the spoon? Who will be the driver that will go to victory lane in the Christmas 300? We're about to find that out. After 40 laps of action, I think I've done enough talking, so I'm just going to get out of the way and say this. The drivers are strapped into their cars. Pre-race ceremonies are just now starting to wrap up. But in order to get these 40 cars rolling off, we got to get the command to fire the engines.
Drivers, start your engines!
The drivers have fired their engines, pace cars rolling off, and so are these 40 competitors. And as they're going to go around the racetrack for their pace lap, here's your starting lineup for the Christmas 300. drivers have just taken one to go, and they are already in a hurry to get this race started. So is the pace car. The pace car is just pretty much in a hurry to get to pit road because we know how slippery this racetrack can really be. And they're not going to waste any time. Pace car is on pit road. Madison Tall and Son Mayo Keys will lead the field of the green flag to get the Christmas 300 2020 edition underway. Side by side for the lead as they go up the hill, down the backstretch into turn 3. That is Daniel Bouchard in the 87 on the inside of Madison Tall. You also got Keegan Thompson in the 48. Moving up on the bottom line in the number 11, and already you can see it. They are 4 wide as they work their way off of turn number 4. Leading the first lap, it's going to be the 87 of Daniel Bouchard. About Owen Miles in that number 52. He won the Pumpkin 250 in a photo finish back in October, and he was able to get to the Christmas 300 in a photo finish. 5 wide. I think they might go 6 wide here in just a second because you got the 74 that might be in a 6 wide situation, and already a crash. Madison Tall got a few cars that just flew off the track. Madison Tall, one of them, and the yellow flag is out. Let's focus on the race back to the line. It's Quentin Moore in the 89 that jumps out in front. Here comes Adam Garcia in the number 22 down on the inside, but my, oh my, what a way to start off the race, and they're going to crash again! This time on the front stretch, more cars crashing as Adam Garcia leads them back to the line. Wow! What a chaotic start to this race. 2 crashes on the same lap at 2 different ends of the racetrack. My gosh. One of the few cars that I didn't end up seeing going around on the front stretch, I did see Owen Miles. He did crash. 16, that is Logan Alexander. He's got some damage on the front end of his car. There's Travis Crampton in the 88. Rear end damage to his machine. I see the 54 of Chris Reynolds has some damage to the Monster Energy car. A lot of damage. Dave Bazuki Sr. It's also the 70 of Cole Raymond. There's Owen Miles who won the Pumpkin 250, as I mentioned earlier. He's got a lot of rear end damage. Also the 9, that is Noah Clifton with damage as well. And a lot of other cars. There's outside pole sitters. So both of our front row sitters, Madison Tall and Son Mayo Keys, have both of those drivers have been involved in a crash. There's the 60 of Trey Smith. And then there's the car sitting on pit road. Madison Tall in the 32, Mitchell Collins in the 20. And the other cars that do have damage, they are coming to pit road. That is the 10 machine, John Stewart. Looks like Stewart's going to continue. There's Brady Bierman. Brady Bierman in the 0 machine is on pit road. Looks like the 6 car, Nathan Faden, is in. The 12, that's Val Moscow. The 44, Zachary Davis. So these are all the drivers. That's Elijah going in the 5. He was also involved. I believe he was involved in the first incident. Either the first or the second. Not 100% sure which one, but either way, a lot of cars with moderate to severe damage, and some of them may not be able to continue. And right now at the moment, it is the number 22 of Adam Alexander who is out front in the 2020 Pumpkin 250. Let's go back and see what happened in these 2 crashes that brought out the first caution of the night here at Alaska. So this was all just a 5 wide situation that turned into 6 wide, and it eventually went wrong. You see just in the background, the 31, the 5, the 9, the 20, the 74, and the 48, they created a 6 wide situation. and then it just eventually went wrong. I'm trying to figure out what happened. It looks like the 20, if they come out from behind the trees. See what happened. I think the 9 and the 5, Noah Clifton and Elijah Gordon, they both were rubbing. They go up the racetrack. They collect Mitchell Collins, also the 74, and as well as the 48 and the 32. And then you see Madison Tall just go flying up into the air, tumbling side over side, end over end. Was the 32 of Madison Tall, Jack Ribbleton in the 74. Confirming the driver of that number 74, that was Jack Ribbleton, as I said earlier. But look at this 32, just tumbling, going for a wild ride, side over side, end over end, just in the woods, and that is just absolutely disastrous. Wow, I've never seen anything like this, especially in this year's Christmas 300. This year's Christmas 300 got off to a very chaotic start. I'm not sure if 2018 got off to a similar note as well. A similar start, I mean. So now this is the second crash. This is what happens over here. Elijah Gordon and the 70 of Cole Raymond. They're both rubbing fenders. They get together. Then Dave Bazuki Sr. also gets into this as well. There's John Stewart. He gets involved. Also the 54 of Chris Reynolds. They come back up into the 11 of Keegan Thompson and the 52 of Owen Miles. Looks like the 00, that was Josh Williamson. He got involved. Daniel Bouchard. There's where a lot of these other cars got their damage. And the track at this point on the front straightaway is blocked. So some drivers are running into each other. Some drivers are getting on the brakes a little bit too late. You also have the 09. I believe that is, Joshua Johnson. He also got more damage from this. That's where the outside pole sitter got more damage. Sunmay O'Keefe in that 48 car. The 6 of Nathan Faden sideways on the track, gets the car refired and gets it back going in the right direction. But you had a lot of cars get so much damage at the start of this race. Both on different parts of the racetrack. One wreck happened on the exit of turn number 2, and then the next one happened on the front straightaway. Let's go on board with 2 cars. We're going to start with the number 32 of Madison Tall, and let's take the visor cam and see exactly what she was witnessing through the windshield. It's what Madison Tall was seeing from her helmet cam. Clear racetrack, and then she just gets completely blindsided right over here. Door slam. Car goes airborne and just violently flips. I bet by the time that Maddie got back on all 4 wheels eventually when she teleported to pit road, she had no idea where she was at. But I can tell you the flipping is not that bad, but just Maddie took in a lot of G's. I mean, when I say that, a lot of just a lot of G-force in those barrel rolls and flips and crashes. Well, more so barrel rolls and hits, to be more specific. But that was just a very scary incident for Madison Tall. Now let's go on board with another driver in the number 52 of Owen Miles. It's not the best camera view in the world, but it'll do. You're riding along with Owen Miles in the number 52. Once again, another type of situation where Owen just really was minding his own business. He saw the wreck happen in front of him, but he had nowhere to go. He couldn't really do much because he had other drivers behind him. And if he lifted, he would have had another car just ram right into the back of him and ruin his day. Just pretty much. I'm not sure what else you want me to say, but either way, Owen Miles looks like he's going to be able to continue, but with some rear end damage, and we might have some cars out of the race, and also some drivers out of contention to win, but we'll be able to continue, such as Owen Miles, for instance, as I said earlier. So the first caution of the night is out. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Be right back with you for the 2020 Christmas 300 presented by NIRA. Don't go anywhere, folks. We are back here at the Alaska Super Speedway. We're getting ready to go back under the green flag on lap number 7. These drivers have just taken one to go. Your top 10 goes as follows. You have the 22 of Adam Garcia, who is out front. Quentin Moore running in second. And then third is the number 31. That is Clark McGee. Fourth, that is Nathan Stapleton. Fifth is the number 1 machine. That is Kelsey Higdon, who took part in the Pumpkin 250. Earlier this year, driving the 22 truck. That's your top 5. Now the rest of your top 10 goes as follows. You have the 19 of Carter Joey running in 6th. 7th is the 21 machine of DJ Reed. 8th is Trey Wright. 9th is the 3 car of Ben Young. And the 33 of Jacob Thibodeau completes the top 10. Drivers out of the race go from Elijah Gordon on down to Madison Tall. So those are the drivers that ended up smelling what the rock was cooking. So that leaves us with 32 cars left on the racetrack. Here they come off of turn number 4. Pace car is off, and it will be Adam Garcia leading them back to the green flag. Let's see what happens on a single file restart. Will they be able to get to 3 and 4 wide, maybe 5 or 6 wide formation as quick as they did at the start of the race? Let's find out. Looks like Higdon goes up to the outside. So does Trey Wright in the 39. But so far, it's a very clean race start. Single file for the front 4, and then you got Carter Joey in the 19 getting alongside Kelsey Higdon in the 1. That's for 5th. And the 21 machine of DJ Reed is going to go with. How about Quentin Moore up front to the inside of Adam Garcia as they hit turn number 3. He's got a little bit of help from Nathan Stapleton in the 38. Stapleton thought about taking a peek there. He is taking a peek. Is he going to make it 3 wide as they come off the corner? Off of turn 4. Let's see what happens. So far, nothing. Nothing just yet. Looks like we got a car coming up pit road. I believe that is, yes, that is the 11 of Keegan Thompson coming into the pits. And you do have some stragglers back here. Now remember, these are some of the drivers that were involved in incidents that took place either in turn number 2 or on the front straightaway. So their speed is not going to replicate the same speed as what the leaders are replicating right now. Quentin Moore led the last lap. I think Nathan Stapleton is going to be able to lead this upcoming lap. Coming to the line, looks like he's going to be able to clear Quentin Moore for the lead. And now we are 3 wide for the second position. We might go 4 wide for second if that 33 of Jacob Thibodeau gets to the inside of DJ Reed. Looks like he's going to try it. And they're still going to be 3 wide. Oh boy, Kelsey Higdon, Quentin Moore coming really close to making contact. And now they're going to be 4 abreast getting into turn 1. Thibodeau way on the inside. We're coming up on a slower car. Remember, that's Keegan Thompson, who had just come out of the pits. Where are these drivers going to go? They are 4 abreast. 1 row deep. Make that 2 rows deep. And they're catching Keegan Thompson in a hurry. They're going to catch him getting it midway through turns 3, going into turn 4. Watch what happens here. They're still 4 wide. DJ Reed to the inside of Stapleton to take over the lead. And now we got another challenger. That is Jacob Thibodeau with help from his other teammate. That's Dave Bazuki Jr. in the 2 machine. And here they come into turn 1. They have caught Keegan Thompson. What's going to happen? Which line is going to get held up? They are 5 wide. Stephen Cologne way down there on the inside. And now, let's see what happens here. The field stacks up as they all check up, get on the brakes for Keegan Thompson. Looks like everybody on the inside is going to get by without any issue whatsoever. So now Thompson holds up the outside, and they are 5 wide. Oh, man. Man, look at this. Look at the middle line. Oh, boy. Trey Wright and also the 77 of Christian Vargas got together there and almost lost control. Oh, there they go in the front stretch. Trey Wright around. Another big crash. Kelsey Higdon. Oh, the 01. Brandon Yodel goes flipping. Brady Bierman goes flipping. Side over side, end over end. The 01 upside down. More cars involved. That's Val Moscow. Some drivers, some of the same drivers from the first 2 incidents. Wow. So much was happening. I couldn't even keep up with what was going on. There's the 44. Zachary Davis. A lot of damage on the rear end. I think also on the front end as well. That might be a glitch though. There's Kelsey Higdon, who is doing a very good job in this race. Not going to be able to go to victory lane in the Christmas 300. Joshua Johnson involved in another crash. Some of these drivers are involved in their second or third wrecks of the night. Drivers like Cole Raymond, for instance, might be involved in their second or third wreck. The 00 of Josh Williamson has more damage. DJ Reed in that 21 car has damage. Travis Crampton, I think, has more damage. The 8 machine of Dale Lightning, who I believe started in dead last, has damage. Wow. This is actually really big. Contact on pit road with Carter Joey and William Brock. Oh, more contact with William Brock and Nathan Faden. Wow. Oh my goodness. Jeez. We got action pretty much everywhere. Contact. Pretty much pit road right now is acting like a demolition derby if you ask me. But out front, it's Keegan Thompson, even though he is a lap down. So it's Clark McGee in the 31 who is going to be the leader when we come back to green flag racing. We're currently on lap 12. We're closing in on halfway very, very soon. Looks like William Brock is going to come out second. Then third will be the 77 of Christian Vargas. Stephen Cologne. The 51 car, that is Grant McGee. And then Quentin Moore, Nathan Stapleton, Adam Garcia, John Stewart, Dave Bazuki Jr., and Danny Bouchard. We had a lot of cars involved in that second crash on the front straightaway for caution flag number 2. And even though Keegan Thompson is out front, looks like he might be on the tail end of the lead lap or lap down. Let's see what happens here as he comes down to pit. I think he might come down to pit, and looks like that is going to be not going to be the case, actually. So he's going to stay on the racetrack. In the meantime, let's take a look and see what happened to bring out caution flag number 2 of the night. So this is all while these drivers had caught up to Keegan Thompson and put him a lap down in that number 11 machine. You see up here 5 wide with the 3 of Ben Young, the 19 of Carter Joey, the 39 of Trey Wright, the 14 of Landon Smith Jr., and the 2 of Dave Bazuki Sr. Some drivers were trying to stay on the racetrack. Looks like the 14 gets a little tap from Kelsey Higdon, and then the 39 comes up and goes around. Then Bazuki collects his teammate and Carter Joey. Then the 01 gets into the wall. Travis Crampton gets a piece of this. So does Jacob Thibodeau. Kelsey Higdon goes around. There's DJ Reed, Josh Williamson. And then that's where Brady Bierman gets involved. Both of the JD cars go flipping. Well, more specifically, the 0 car. The 01 just ended up flipping onto his roof. There's the 12 of Val Moscow. But wow, that double 0 just goes for a very wild ride, and you see more chaos ensuing just at the bottom of the screen with Owen Miles, Cole Raymond, not Stephen Colonna, but Noah Clifton, Dale Lightning, and others. But that zero car actually goes for just a wild tumble just at the end of the front straightaway onto the entrance of turn number 1. Fortunately, though, he does come back to rest on all 4 wheels, whereas for his teammate, that just is not the same case in that number 01 car of Brandon Yolder. You're riding with Kelsey Higdon. Yeah, a little nudge from the 39 to the 77. This is part of what set it off, and this is what officially set it off. Like Kelsey was about to have it missed had Trey Wright not come back up right into her path, but luckily she was able to get the car refired and get it back pointed the right direction. So she will be able to continue on the racetrack, but just with some moderate damage to her car, as well as others. Now let's go on board with the 39 of Trey Wright. This is what Trey Wright witnessed from his windshield view. Somehow, after being involved in that crash, he somehow managed to keep his car straight. Not sure how he was able to do that, but he managed to keep his car straight, whereas for others, that just wasn't the same case. But now let's go on board with one final driver, this time the zero of Braden Bierman. Hang on tight. So at the time of the crash, Brady was all the way back here in 23rd place, riding behind Josh Williamson very comfortably as chaos was ensuing in that pack, and then it just all unraveled right here. Smoke, the hole, and then the hole closes up with Dale Lightning, and then a complete whirlpool of snow, trees, sky, lights, ground, and then eventually comes back to rest on all 4 wheels. But man, that was a wild tumble for the number 0 of Brady Bierman, similar to what Madison Tall went through earlier on lap number 2. But that is what put us under the second caution of the night here at the Alaska Super Speedway for the 2020 Christmas 300. And the number, I believe it was, I can't remember, but I do know that the 11 of Keegan Thompson is out front, despite the fact that he may possibly still be 1 lap down. And why don't we go ahead and get to the restart here in Alaska. 1 lap, and we will be back to green flag racing here at the Alaska Super Speedway for the Christmas 300. It is Clark McGee out front in the number 31. So that is the reconfirmation on who the leader actually is, and that actually is a good memory booster for me, I guess you could say. But we do have some more cars out of the race. Cole Raymond, also the 52 of Owen Miles is done. Brandon Yodel, also Kelsey Higdon, Jacob Thibodeau, Travis Crampton, Brady Bierman, Joshua Johnson, and as well as Nathan Faden and the 44 of Zachary Davis. They all joined the other drivers that were involved in the first 2 incidents that brought out caution flag number 1. So now we are down to 22 cars left on the racetrack, with Keegan Thompson still on the lead lap, just on the tail end of the lead lap as the pace car is off. And let's see what happens. On lap number 15, just 5 or now 6 laps away from halfway. Brock in the 62 jumps up to the outside. McGee goes inside of Keegan Thompson to put him back to 1 lap down. Cologne goes way high in that number 7 machine, and Christian Vargas is going to follow. The number 31 of McGee up to 2nd. We also have the 51 of Grant McGee up there as well. Quentin Moore is still in this fight. Same for Nathan Stapleton, Daniel Bouchard, Adam Garcia. And William Brock is going to go really high up on the racetrack in that number 62 car. And meanwhile, up front is Christian Vargas out front. He takes the lead away from Grant McGee, from Clark McGee actually, and will lead lap number 15, just 5 laps away from halfway. Taking a look here, this is what Adam Garcia is what he's looking at is you got the front 5 cars up there, and he just got by Keegan Thompson in that number 11. And they are 3 abreast right in front of him. Danny Bouchard down there on the inside, and he's going to whiz right on by. And there's Clark McGee in that number 31 Rockstar machine, and ultimately they got a battle for the lead. The 89, excuse me, that is Quentin Moore diving to the inside. He didn't dive, he just went down there. William Brock is coming to pit road, and that number 62. He restarted second, and now I think something might be going amiss on the 62 machine of William Brock. Either that, or he might be pretty short on fuel, and is going to try to get some fuel into that number 62, so that way he can be good to go the rest of the way. There is a chance that we might have pit stops before this thing is said and done, just like last year. So this could come down to a fuel mileage race. Not 100% sure on what's going to happen just yet, so we're just going to have to keep our eyes open for what the end of this race may hold. Grant McGee in the 51 goes by Quentin Moore to take over first place. Looks like we've got ourselves a pretty small pack, so the chances of us having a big crash are actually a little bit smaller than what things were earlier in the race. 3 wide, up at the front. Bouchard trying to get to the inside with no help whatsoever. Now he's got DJ Reed in the 21. Remember, Reed had a lot of damage on his car, and now looks like his car is somewhat flawless. Same for the 12 of Val Moscow. And they're gonna eventually catch up to William Brock. Remember, because he made a pit stop, he's back out on the racetrack just on the tail end of the lead lap. Bouchard on the inside, digging with a little bit of help from behind. Side by side at the line, it is going to be Bouchard that leads lap number 18. Just 2 laps till halfway in the Christmas 300. And Bouchard is out front in that number 87. 4 wide. DJ Reed on the bottom. Keegan Thompson, remember, is a lap down. We got Stephen Colon, and as well as Grant McGee up there. We might go 5 wide, possibly. And I think we are 5 wide. It's just 1 row deep, but they are going to work themselves out of that situation and get back to 4 wide. But 4 wide can still be pretty sketchy. You got Val Moscow and Clark McGee kind of trying to make things happen. And they are 5 wide once again. You got Trey Wright, who was involved in that second crash and somehow managed to keep his car going. He's still in this fight. Down on the inside. How about Noah Clifton, and that number 9 machine is still in this as well. Meanwhile, up at the front of the field, it is Stephen Colon challenging for the lead on Daniel Bouchard as they hit the back straightaway. Up the hill and going into turn number 3. Still a pretty small pack. Looks like we got about 13 cars in this lead group as they work their way off of turn number 4. 14 overall if you count Keegan Thompson, but 13 lead lap cars are in this pack, and they do have a shot at winning this race. Halfway through the Christmas 300, it is Daniel Bouchard who is out front, and they are pretty much caught the 62 of William Brock. This is 184, the 178. This is a 7-mile-an-hour difference. And what are these drivers going to do once they catch up to William Brock? They hit turn 3, and it looks like Brock is gonna be in the middle line. Which line is he gonna block? Is he gonna block Cologne's line or Bouchard's line? It looks like he's gonna block Stephen Colon. He's gonna hold him up, and now Keegan Thompson comes to pit road in that number 11 machine. So Colon leads that lap and is still getting held up by William Brock. They are 4 wide currently. And now back to 3 wide as they're now going single file. About DJ Reed diving to the inside. And now Cologne finally is going to find a little hole underneath of William Brock and is going to take advantage and put his car underneath of William Brock and try to get around that number 62. Well, they're still 3 wide and they're still racing. Let's scroll back through the field. You got Nathan Stapleton just barely holding onto the draft, along with Grant McGee. Also, Stephen Cologne. Well, Stephen Cologne's leading, but that's also Noah Clifton and Ben Young, who are just slowly losing the draft. Meanwhile, up front, they are getting very, very dicey. 4 wide. I still think 4 wide, even with a pack like this, might get a little bit sketchy. I think Adam Garcia and also the 31 of Clark McGee touched just a little bit, but they're 3 wide for the lead. Cologne on the outside, Trey Wright in the middle, Adam Garcia on the inside. William Brock jumps out of line and is pretty much going to try to get out of this lead group. 3 abreast. Christian Vargas going to try to make it 4 wide. But they're 3 wide, 3 rows deep. Let's take a look at what's going on back over here. See who's the next few cars that the leaders may catch. I see the number 8. That is Dale Lightning. Also the 00 of Josh Williamson. John Stewart is also up here. Is back here actually. Carter Joey. Dave Bazuki Jr. There's also Jack Rippleton, the 14 of Landon Smith Jr. But meanwhile, let's focus back up at the front of the field. Trey Wright led the last lap, and it looks like Adam Garcia is going to lead this lap. That number 22 has actually been pretty strong, and so far, no damage whatsoever on that car. And this could be the 2nd year in a row that a Penske car could would go to victory lane if Adam Garcia were to hold on and actually play his cards right. There's going to be 15 laps to go next time by, and there may be a pretty decent chance that these drivers may come down pit road. That's the key word right there, may, because pit strategy could have an effect on how this race ends, and they almost went 5 wide there with the 12 of Val Moscow. Kind of getting a little racy there because time is slowly running out, and these drivers are going to have to eventually start making their moves, and they're going to have to not lift. And man, oh my gosh, the 21 and the 39 just made some contact. They bumped doors coming to the line. And just barely, it was Trey Wright that led that lap. Just think if that was the finish, folks. Trey Wright would have won it just by that much. 1/100th of a second. Maybe if those drivers were a little bit closer, Trey Wright would have won it maybe by 3 1,000ths of a second. Maybe 4 or 2. Maybe in a millionth of a second. Who knows? So much. So much is on the line, especially at the end of the race. Grant McGee is out front. Moscow is getting challenged for 2nd. That's Christian Vargas down there on the bottom. Daniel Bouchard is going to go with them. See what happens coming out of turn number 4. So far, no drivers have elected to come into pit just yet. They are 3 abreast in the middle of the group. Riding along with Nathan Stapleton, the 38 machine, the Great Clip car. Down on the inside, looks like William Brock is getting a little bit of a better run on that outside line. These drivers have their foot mashed to the gas, giving it their all, and they are not giving an inch whatsoever. It is coming close to the end of the race. 13 laps to go as they cross the line. They're going to cross the line this time by. Like I said, so much is going to be on the line. We got a little bit of lap traffic just up ahead going into turn number 1. But they may not catch them until a little bit later on in this race. He's looking behind Nathan Stapleton. explodes right into the back bumper. Now you see Ben Young, that ammo crew machine. The eye of Ben Young just looking right at the back bumper, makes it stick with him as they dive into turn number 3 at nearly 195 miles an hour. 3 wide for the lead. You got Quentin Moore down there on the inside. Got the 7 of Stephen Colon in the middle. Clark McGee on the outside. Looks like they're going to make it 4 wide. What I saw Grant McGee just jump out of the line. Went high. Now they're going to be 4 wide as Adam Garcia takes a look underneath. Grant McGee once again goes up to the high side. So now the McGees are together, 31 and 51. Clark in the 31, Grant in the 51. And they're still 3 wide for the lead. 4 wide as they hit turn 3. Bouchard, not a whole lot of help in that 87, but still holding on to the lead group as they're coming to 11 laps to go, and Adam Garcia is out front. And they are catching lap traffic. Remember, that is Keegan Thompson in the 11. He did come down to pit just about a lap after the this recent restart, and he is not having himself the best of days in that number 11 car. And possibly, if the Christmas 300 were to return next year, which that is a possibility, there's a 50-50 chance of that happening in 2021. He could have himself a better chance. He might have a shot at winning next year's race. We're just going to have to wait and see another 365 days from now after this race. But in the meantime, as they come off of turn number 4, they're going to see 10 fingers, which signifies 10 more laps of the 2020 Christmas 300 presented by NIRA. Daniel Bouchard leads it at the line, just barely over Christian Vargas in the 77. And so far, you only have about, like I said, about 14 cars that still are in this lead group, or, well, 13 really lead lap cars, but 14 overall in this lead group. 13 of them with a shot to win this race. But another thing you also got to keep in mind, as I've probably brought up a couple times before, is pit stops. When will these drivers pit? Who will pull off the best strategy? And who will win the Christmas 300 because of that strategy? This is gonna, it's all gonna come down to the wire, so we might as well just keep our eyes peeled for what might happen here, because these drivers are gonna get a little bit more racy. DJ Reed and Stephen Colon banging doors as they just cross the line on the front stretch, getting into turn 1. 4 abreast. Might go 5 abreast. I think they're gonna go 5 wide here. Oh, this is sketchy. This is sketchy. This is getting really sketchy. Coming to 8 to go. This time by, they are slowly catching Keegan Thompson. And they're getting more and more racy. These drivers know that they're closing at the end. They cannot lift. They've got to go for what they can get. They come off of turn 4, a little bit more bunched up than what they were in the previous few laps. And they're also anticipating catching Keegan Thompson, and they're trying to watch which line he's going to take. This is getting very risky. And it looks like Thompson is going to block the bottom. He's going to block everybody. The bottom line does get a better run and is going to go by Keegan Thompson. And guess who's out front? That's Adam Garcia in that 22 machine. Following him is also Quentin Moore. As he dives to the inside, he goes to the bottom. Is he gonna get the lead coming out of turn number 4? Let's see what happens. 7 to go when they cross the line. It is going to be, I think, yes, that is Adam Garcia, who just led it at the line. Oh boy. Don't go to another video, folks. This is going to be a very interesting finish. You may not want to miss this one. This is going to be a great finish. This is going to be a good battle coming down to the wire amongst 13 cars that have a shot to win this thing. William Brock is the 14th car in this pack. He is a lap down, though, but he's still mixing it up with the leaders. And he might ruin some of the drivers' days. We're just going to have to wait and see what happens when that white flag waves. Well, what happens? Will these drivers be in a pack coming to the line? Will they all be spread out from pit strategy? So far, these drivers are still together right now. Quentin Moore leads it at the line. Looks like Moscow tried to get underneath of Keegan Thompson, but Thompson threw the block on him. And they're 3 wide once again. Moscow makes it 4 wide. How about William Brock making it 5 wide? Down the back straightaway, they're going to get out of this situation. They're going to get out of 5 wide and then go back to 4 wide. And now back to 3 wide. Moscow, respectively, backs off. Meanwhile, up front, Vargas, Moore, side by side, and Christian Vargas is going to get the advantage over the 89 of Quentin Moore. And here we go, folks. Pit stops. Coming to 5 to go. Vargas, Moscow, McGee, and Noah Clifton all pit with 5 laps to go. This is going to come down to the wire. This is going to be an interesting finish. Who is going to have the best pit strategy that's going to get them out front to win the Christmas 300? It is all down to the wire. When it comes down to pit crews, when it comes down to the crew chief, when it comes down to the drivers, executing entrance and exits to pit road, making sure that they're within the speed limit. Let's see who's the next group of drivers to come on down to pit road within this pack. So far, it doesn't look like anybody else is going to come down. I stand corrected. Looks like Stephen Colon is going to come in. Same for Quentin Moore. Same for Adam Garcia, Trey Wright, DJ Reed, Nathan Stapleton. That's the next group of cars to come on down pit road. 4 to go, and it's Grant McGee, who is out front in the 51 machine. The 87. Daniel Bouchard is in this pack. Even though his chances of winning this race are practically eliminated, William Brock is still in this fight to kind of mix up other drivers' days. And they're also catching up to Dave Bazuki Jr. in that number 2 machine. I think he's going to also come down pit road, but I'm not 100% sure, though. And Survey says he's going to stay out. Let's see who are the next group of drivers to come on in. William Brock, Keegan Thompson stay out, whereas the other 3 drivers do come on into pit. There's Dale Lightning, the 8 car, coming out of his pit box after making his pit stop. The leader currently, I'm not 100% sure who it is, but I do think I have a sneaking suspicion that it might be this 89 car of William. Actually, wait, might be the 7. It might be the 7 of William Brock. No, I completely messed that up. Sorry. Stephen Colon. There we go. 2 to go at the line. Well, still 3 to go, actually. Still 3 to go because they're showing that Daniel Bouchard is the leader, but he just got passed by that 7 of Stephen Colon, who may possibly be the leader if he can catch up to that 51 of Grant McGee. So far, Grant has actually been able to get out ahead of Stephen Colon and others. But remember, Colon is up to full song. Grant has just gotten up to full song. He just come out of the pits. Let's see what happens. Coming to the line, it is going to be 2 laps to go. Oh boy, this finish is going to come down to these 5 drivers. These 5 cars have a shot to win this thing. Let's see what happens within these final 2 laps. Grant McGee is out front. Colon is there in second. Vargas third. And the battle for 4th is on between Adam Garcia and also Quentin Moore. The battle is on for the lead. Here comes Colon on the inside of Grant McGee. They go down the back straightaway. McGee has a lot of help behind him. Meanwhile, Colon is going solo. Here they come through turns 3 and 4. There's a little bit of traffic ahead of them, but it's not going to hinder the speed of these 5 leaders. They come off of the final corner. Cologne is going to have one more lap to get him. Here they come to the white flag. Grant McGee has it. Will he be leading? Coming back to the checkers. We are on the last lap. Cologne and Vargas go side by side for second. Vargas slips back. How about Cologne? He's going to try it again. And not Blaze, but Adam Garcia is going to make it 3 wide. Here comes lap traffic. Cologne dives to the inside. Lap traffic's going to block the top side. Williamson, is he going to hold his line? He will. And that's going to pretty much seal the deal. Stephen Cologne works his way off of turn 4. 2017, Jeremy Jones. 2018, Barry Stremme. Last year, Cody Smart. This year, it is going to be Stephen Cologne winning the Christmas 300. How about that? 4 races, 4 different winners of the Christmas 300. How about that? That was a really good finish. Adam Garcia, he got up to the back bumper of Stephen Cologne. He tried to make a move coming to the line, but it just wasn't enough. And Stephen Cologne wins the 2020 Christmas 300 presented by NIRA. Wow. That was a really, really good race. That was really good, I do have to say there. Excuse me. So from the looks of it, only 22 cars. We did end up with 22 cars finishing the race, and only 19 of them were on the lead lap. How about that? So finishing second will be the 22 of Adam Garcia. Third will be the 89 of Quentin Moore. Fourth, Grant McGee. Riding out your top 5, there's Christian Vargas. Sixth, Clark McGee. Seventh will be the number 87 of Danny Bouchard. 8th, Val Moscow. 9th, Ben Young. And completing your top 10, that is DJ Reed. This was a really, really good race, folks. I mean, this is probably a little bit more exciting than last year's race, where Cody Smart managed to go to victory lane over a dominating margin over the rest of the field. But this time, it was Stephen Cologne who ended up going to victory lane based on a last lap pass, and also thanks to assistance from lap traffic that did end up giving Stephen Cologne the win. That was actually a really good finish, if I have to say. But anyways, that is going to do it from here at the Alaska Super Speedway. We got the Christmas Eve 500, which will be taking place tomorrow. So best of luck to the drivers that are taking part in that race with Team NOFSRL and also Team NIRA. Go Team NIRA all the way. And that's gonna do it. Thank you guys a lot for watching. If you guys like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you have not considered subscribing yet, I recommend you do so in order to keep up with some fine content coming out in the near future. And that pretty much does it for me. One more time, congratulations to Stephen Cologne on becoming your 2020 Christmas 300 champion. And I will see you guys on the very next one.